Hello, it's Paul McFadden here, and I'm with our guest today, Gary McAllister, and I'm looking forward to having a conversation with him because my whole goal with these podcasts is to inspire those who are watching or listening to find out more about the person's journey. And Gary's got a great journey to share with us with his own background, being in construction and having his own construction business and his building company, and then being involved in property and then coming along and working with us and just seeing what he's been able to achieve over the last few years, and as well as an exciting project he's working on that can help many people too, which we'll touch on towards the end as well, because I've got a lot to cover. I'd love to get into, find more about the person, because I think that a lot of people can resonate and connect with other people in their journey and what they've gone through. But more importantly, talk about some of the projects and some of the deals that you're doing as well. So first and foremost, welcome to the podcast, Gary.
Thanks very much, Paul.
So why don't we take us back to the start? Tell me a bit more about the younger Gary and why you get into the building and construction game, and then we can maybe get into the property chat as well.
So for me, Paul, I started off as a carpenter and a joiner about 17, 18 years ago. And the reason I got into it was, for me, property was always my end goal. And I thought, carpenter and joiner, I'm good with my hands. I really like working and getting an end product and seeing something and getting a wee bit of self-satisfaction for an end goal. After about my 4 or 5 years as a carpenter and joiner as an apprentice, I then went self-employed, started on my own refurb company, kitchens, bathrooms, working for other investors. And I've been doing it for around about 17, 18 years now. And after maybe 4 or 5 years into being self-employed, I knew I had to save some money, buy my own house. That was the general gist. Everybody was doing the same thing. Save up money, buy a house, flip it on. That's what I thought you had to do before obviously coming on the course and learning things for myself as well. Property isn't as easy as everybody thinks it is unless you know what you're doing. I saved up some money and I also got investors to come on board to buy other properties. One of the properties I had bought was with my wife, and we bought it, we stayed in it, we bought it at auction. Sorry, we didn't buy this one at auction, we bought this on the market. It was actually a repossession, so we done quite well off it. But then we went and bought stuff at auction, and we done all right at auction, but with auction, you know yourself, there's a lot of hidden issues that come with property at auction, and this is the problem that I was coming into, and I was facing this issue. So all these years, carpenter, joiner, thought I had the experience, a few homes under a hammer, thought I had all the experience, and we made a few errors, but we still done well off the properties. But then I knew that I had to gain more knowledge. My biggest issue was my community. I didn't have the right community around me. And I then found yourself online. I just typed in Scottish property guy, and you popped up.
And I popped up, there you go.
And I was like, right, this guy seems to know what he's talking about. Let's go and see what he's got to say. So I joined the course.
Yeah.
And I'm here now. This is where it's got me so far.
Yeah, no, it's great, because I think you did our Proty program about 3 or so years ago.
Around about 3 years, Paul.
Around about 3
yeah.
years. And what I love about people like yourself who's in the trade, you know, like you're hard workers, especially with what you do, you know, and you put the graft in, and arguably it's the most important person in someone's power team when it comes to property is the builder, and
Definitely.
not only the person that's on the tools, but the person that can coordinate and project manage it, because that's the difference in whether you're going to have a successful project that makes money,
Oh,
you
definitely.
know. So it's good that you had that background, and look, massive respect that you started doing deals, and as much as that there was challenges, I guess, as you say, that is property, and even greater respect that you understood, even though you were doing some deals, that a bit more education is going to help. And I think I know so many people who are resistant to education because they think they know it all, and when
That's
they
it.
come along, they get their whole mind shifted.
That 100%, you've hit the nail on the head. You do, and I'm guilty for that, especially doing what I had done, having the background and trying to listen to other people, and I'm like, it's just not right. This is right, but you do need to be open-minded, and that was my biggest problem. I thought I was finished with education once I had given out my apprenticeship and I then went on and done project management and all the rest of it. I'd spent more than half my life in education. I was like, right, good, I'm done with it. But it was naive to think like that. Like, it really is. And I've looked back and I've thought to myself, like, that's crazy to think like that. And I came on this course because everything was just going too slow. It's too hard to get money, buy property, flip it on. You think you can only do one at a time because you need to put all your time and effort into that one, get it on. It takes 6 months at least to flip on a property, especially something you've purchased. there's other ways to buy property. You've taught people that and taught us that you can do it a lot quicker as well. But I definitely, it's getting educated around what you're doing, and if it's property, then get educated around it.
Yeah,
definitely.
So you came along to Proty.
Yeah.
First and foremost, how was that for you? What was your experience from someone who's done a few deals in the trade? What was your experience through that?
My experience, because I had been in the trade, you do teach some around the refurb side and the pricing of the refurb. But I didn't know all the wee golden nuggets, say all the extra things, like it doesn't take 6 months, you can do this, you can do that, there's other strategies. And unless you're going to spend hours and hours and hours, it would take longer than that to try and educate yourself around that, and you don't have the mentors or the people to speak to that's done it before. And the good thing about this is the community, and I always talk about the community, because I do a lot of deals with people in the group, in Platinum, Legacy, and in Proty, all the new people in it as well. The good thing about me having my background, there's a lot of guys from Proty come to me and say, Gary, listen, how much is this refurb going to cost me? Can you help me? And I try to help as many people as I can. There's just not enough hours in the day, and I need to make money. So I can't help everybody. This is why I went on to do what I've done now. But that's a subject for later on. But right at this moment in time, we're doing a lot more deals than we've ever done. I've done more deals in the last 12 months than I've done in my lifetime.
And I guess that's because two things. One, understanding the other strategies,
Definitely.
Sissy Sale being one, which I know that you've done a number of those, and more importantly, being open to collaborate and joint venture with other people in the group. And that's one of the things that I love. And, I think that the community that we've built, that it's a lot of collaboration, a lot of joint ventures, a lot of deals to be done together. And, and when you've got, people working together, you can move mountains effectively. And you've done stuff all over, haven't you? And you've got different GV partners, and maybe just touch on some of the things that you've been working on, what you've been doing.
Yep. So a lot of my stuff's in the Central Belt. I've got a few different joint venture partners, and I also got a joint venture partner in Aberdeen. And we're doing a few properties in Aberdeen at the moment. We just recently sold one that just completed. One's going to market in about 6 weeks' time. And we're also building 2 units on that same land where we purchased the property. Mm-hmm. So we're splitting the title deed, and we're going to be building 2 units, 3,000 square foot each. So it's a big properties, big luxury properties. And also we're involved in service accommodation, and we're looking at a aparthotel in Aberdeen as well. So we're doing a lot in Aberdeen.
So see, just on Aberdeen, because Aberdeen is like in my mind, it's a different market
100%.
Than the rest of Scotland for sure.
Definitely.
And it's funny because I'm going to be speaking in Aberdeen in a couple of weeks' time at one of our Jumpstart events. We do Aberdeen a couple of times a year. And I find that it's a great audience. It's always a very receptive audience. But I find there's a lot of, but it's different here. And I understand the Aberdeen market. And when I hear people like yourself that's making money doing deals in Aberdeen, it's like I'm trying to shake them going, hold on a wee minute. You can do deals in Aberdeen. And you're not restricted just to Aberdeen as well. You can look elsewhere, but there is opportunities there. So maybe touch on your own experience of the Aberdeen marketplace, and just high level overview of some of the deals you're doing and the exits and potential money that can be made.
Yeah. So the first property that I bought in Aberdeen, it's just a flat. It's really essential. The flat itself, we were going to flip it on, but we had 2 strategies for it, because you need at least 2 strategies for any deal, because if one doesn't work, you've got one to fall back on.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I believe anyway. So the deal that it's an all money out deal if we remortgaged it, or if we just kept to cash in it and just use it as self accommodation. What we are doing at the moment, but our original strategy was to sell it. But the Aberdeen market, there's like 2,000 odd properties in the city centre alone on the market, because it's struggling to sell property at the moment. I don't know the reason for that. I don't know if it's the oil and gas or because they're moving into renewables. I've no idea. But I did have a look at statistics, and Aberdeen was up here, and now it's down here. And I'm like, okay, if it's down here, then it's probably the best time to buy. Everybody's terrified of Aberdeen.
I am so glad you just said that. I'm so glad you just said that, because it's the exact opposite. That the pundits are coming out and saying, oh, Aberdeen was up here, it's dropping in value. There's too many properties on the market. I'm like, that is an investor's dream.
100%, exactly. So that's the way we've seen it. We've seen the statistics. We're like, oh God, we're here. How much more can it go down? But so I think, like anything else, it's only going to go up. So it's just biding your time. So because we had 2 strategies for it, we're now using it as service accommodation. It's doing well. And that one itself, we're just going to keep a hold of at the moment. The other 2 are
And just on that
outside
one,
it.
what are you netting in terms of cash flow? I know it's up and down because it's
It is up and down.
occupancy rate, but roughly.
So we're, to give you an idea, because we've not had it a full year yet, I don't know the exact numbers, but to give you an idea, last month we brought in like $2,000 for that 1 2-bed flat.
Which you would
And
probably
it goes up
only
and
get
down.
from a rent point of view as a buy-to-let would have been what?
600 probably in Aberdeen.
So you're more than doubling the income.
Oh, aye,
From running an SA.
definitely. So it's definitely a great strategy, and I think we could be doing better if I put more time and effort in it. But we've got a management company dealing with it at the moment,
Yeah.
which is fine. They're good at what they do. I don't know enough around service accommodation, letting it out. I want to learn more about it because I'm taking on more stuff. Like I said, we've got like 3 B&Bs we're buying this year that are all going to be apart hotels. So I really need to get educated around how you actually get them out there to either builders, holiday makers, or whatever it is you're renting out to, whatever your strategy is. So definitely, I think Aberdeen, because people are scared of it, I think that's probably one of the main reasons I moved up to start buying property. Because I thought if everybody else is scared up here, then I might as well take a punt on it.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely saturated in Glasgow with people, but there's still money to be made in Glasgow and the Central Belt.
So in Aberdeen, that was one that you're keeping for an SA. You're still doing all the projects in Aberdeen, aren't you?
Yeah, so there's another 2. We just sold one. Both of them are farmhouses in the middle of nowhere, up towards Turriff and Elgin, up that direction. One we just sold, beautiful big house, sold within 2 weeks. The other one, we've been doing a lot of work to this one. It was absolutely derelict. There was like nothing done to it at all. But it came on 0.7 acres of land. So we're splitting the title, selling off the house, the wee farmhouse, and we're keeping the land and we're getting planning. So we got word back from planning the other day that the houses are good to go. We just need to adjust the size and the way they're facing. That's all. So it looks like we're getting planning for 2 new builds up there, around about 3,000 square foot each. So they're really nice, big luxury houses in that area. But
so the one that you flipped just recently, what was the just high level overview of the figures and stuff in that one?
So that house sold. Oh no, you're trying to make me remember things, and I moved on from it. We made around about £30,000 off that one. We had a joint venture partner in it, so they also made money off that property. The deal itself, it was assisted sale, so anything over 10 grand, because it's a short term deal, is good. It had more issues than we thought, but we still made a lot of money off it. Stuff like knotweed, people think that's an issue. We had growing ivy, and that pushed up floorboards and everything. We didn't know that was growing ivy could do that. I didn't even know that. And growing ivy had pushed up tiles, flooring, and all the rest of it. So we had a lot more issues than we thought. We had something like 30 burst pipes. It's crazy, the stuff we came across this house, and it's an assisted sale. But we done really well off it. We sold it for well over 300 grand. The owner's done really well off it. Everybody was happy at the end of it.
So for those that are not aware, an assisted sale is where you're literally assisting the seller to sell the property. They get exactly what they want, but you're making the property, by renovating it, a much more appealing to be able to sell, and that's why you're able to sell that on. And 30k might not sound like a lot of money on a 300 grand property, but it was an assisted sale. It's not like you're putting any money in other than the cost of the refurb and overcoming problems and those solutions. It's
Definitely.
put everybody else off with the burst pipes and the Japanese knotweed and the ivy. All of that can be solved, and clearly that's what's happened when you guys have made over 30 grand profit.
Definitely. The great thing about assisted sales is you don't need to keep it for 6 months. You can sell it on within weeks. So the quicker you do the project, the quicker you get your money back out. Everything's just tied up with contracts. People have always asked me, like, why would somebody bring you in to sell their house and make money off their house? Because they can't sell their house. They're struggling to sell it. Some people just want to get rid of it as quick as possible. Some people are maybe embarrassed as well with the condition their house is in, and it's a shame. So you're helping them. That's the best part about it. That's what I like about it. Every time you come in, it's always I feel the saviour. And they're like, oh, great, can you do that? Oh, definitely, we'll come in, we'll do all the work. This is just a person to person, but we'll have a contract. So you can trust me, this is what I'm going to do. And we've always done what we said we were going to do, and all of our assisted sales, everybody's walked to be happy.
Love it. And the new build development, so you've got the farmhouse
Yeah.
that's getting renovated, yeah?
It's getting renovated,
So
so
it's going to get
ready
renovated to
soon.
get sold, and the two new builds. So what's the GDV of the project, the gross development value?
The gross development value. So for the new builds itself is going to be around about 1.2 is going to be the end market value for the two of them. It's going to cost us around about 800,000 to build out the two of them. That's including all the legals and all the rest of it. So there should be a profit around about 400 grand, give or take, depending on which way the market goes over the next year. Because it's going to take us time to get the planning finished and get the development over line, then sell it. So it really depends on where the market is. But there's plenty of scope for plenty of profit on that one, which is good. And this is going to be my first development as well, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
sounds like an exciting project. You know, when you're working on a development like that, where you've got, 400k forecasted profit,
Yep.
and with the way the market is, it could be slightly be more. A lot of people have got a preconceived idea that it's the opposite. And
know.
just like you've touched on Aberdeen, I just want to address this as well, because there's a lot more stock on the market in Aberdeen. It doesn't mean that property's still not selling.
Oh, definitely.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
And when you're doing a property to the standard that you're doing, because of your background, your experience, it's going to become, a property that attracts more buyers, because it's that walking condition. It's done to a high standard. It's, especially new build developments, have got, a big appeal, and they achieve a premium as well.
Oh, definitely. Like, the Aberdeen market itself, yes, the city centre is a bit harder, but see outside the city centre, it's great. I mean, look at that property we just sold. It was on the market 2 weeks, and that was it, gone. And that was a £500,000 house, essentially. It was a lot of money. This one we were going to be putting on the market is also going to be a £500,000 house. That's 400 and odd grand. So I think we're looking for an end market value of about 430, there or thereabouts. We might achieve more. And if we sell that, I think we'll sell that within about 2 or 3 weeks again, because it's a massive market for anywhere outside of Aberdeen in the Aberdeenshire Council or in that area.
Yeah.
Up Melbourne, I've heard nothing but good stories about properties selling really quick. I don't think people in the Central Belt really look that far north. I don't know why.
And that's a good thing for people like yourself,
Oh,
and for
definitely.
investors.
Definitely. I tell people that all the time.
And I'm going to be speaking at an event of over 100 people next week. And I know that I'm going to have to work hard to convince them that there's still opportunities in Aberdeen. And part of me is kind of like, do you know what? Maybe I should just go to Aberdeen myself and start doing deals, because there's so much opportunity. And I think that they need to get rid of their own misconceptions of the market themselves and start to look at it, how to see it from a different point of view as an investor, and see that there is so much opportunity. And Aberdeen's not the only place you've done deals. I mean, you mentioned yourself, most of your deals is across the Central Belt.
Yeah.
So maybe let's have a little chat about some of the projects around here, some ones that you think would be good for people to hear about, and from figures and joint ventures and so forth.
Yeah. So the last 3 I just sold were all assisted sales, funny enough. I love an assisted sale. Livingston Deer Park, that was a £500,000 house. We sold that. We made around about, again, 30 grand off that. It was around about.
How much money did you put into it?
That one we actually put quite a lot into. We put around about 50 grand into that one.
No, but putting this into perspective, right? Because obviously you put a lot into it. So for those that are watching or listening in here, £500,000 home. It's not like you're having to put in the 25% deposit of £500,000.
No.
It's not as if you have to put in the stamp duty or additional dwelling supplement, which would be pretty significant at £500,000 home. You put the money into the refurb, 50 grand, and you made over you made a 60% cash on cash return if you made 30k.
Well, that's it. I mean, you look at it that way, it's amazing. I mean, one of the first assisted sales I had done was in Cumbernauld, and we made around about 40 grand off of that deal, and we spent about 40 grand. So we doubled
100% return.
Aye. Do you know what I mean? So when you look at it that way, I mean, every deal's different. I'm saying I spent a lot of money, but we still made a lot of money in a short period of time. And the other 2 houses that we sold, they're different brackets. I know all these £500,000 houses, everybody says, oh, that's the ones you want to be involved in. When really you want to be involved in a lot of the smaller ones, 200 max, 250, anywhere around about there. Because they sell quicker and they do really well. And it's different strategies that you can have. But everybody thinks because you're buying dearer houses, you're making more money. We've made more money on the smaller deals just because they're easier to flip on. There's more market for the cheaper houses, which is really good. And same again, we're just helping other clients sell their houses, and they've got a lot of issues. like stuff that I didn't know about until we then got involved with them, and then we managed to fix that issue for them, especially when it comes to rogue tenants and things like that. Like that is a massive thing.
Yeah.
Helping people out with that. So it's been really good.
But that's what I always think is good for people that are educated and understand the different strategies, such as an assisted sale, and more importantly, how to negotiate with a motivated seller. And the word negotiate sometimes get a kind of preconceived mindset of, oh, well, you're trying to drill them down to pay them nothing. It's not. It's communication. It's got to be win-win, and you've got to problem solve. And when you've got more strategies at your disposal rather than a traditional buy-to-let or buy-to-flip, you've got other strategies that where you can actually pay the seller more, give them exactly what they want, and still be able to make great profits for yourself. So it's taking a different approach, isn't it?
Well, it's funny you say that, because every assisted sale we've done, we've offered them more than we could if we were purchasing the property, and we could sell it for them a lot quicker because the property is now in a better condition.
Problem solving.
It's great. It's great. It's probably one of my best strategies. I love an assisted sale because it works for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's just quicker. Money's in, money's out a lot quicker. And the seller, again, it's just they're over the moon because they're making more money and they're proud of their home at the end of it, because it is their home. It's not ours. It's theirs.
Yeah.
But we've contracted a deal with them.
Yeah. Love it. And then, so I guess from your whole journey in the last 3 years, you've been working on many assisted sales, doing a lot of development. You're doing your first new build development as well, which is incredibly exciting. And of course, you've had a background in construction, right? You've got your own business and all of that stuff. But in a few short years, you've achieved so much and you've accelerated things. I think that's what you mentioned was one of your challenges, wasn't it, previously, is that things were taking too slow, but you've been able to open that up and accelerate so much quicker.
Oh, definitely. And it's been because of definitely meeting you, Paul, and coming on the course, and the community, again, that I spoke about a few times. And because of my background, I do a lot of joint ventures with people in the group because of my background. Why joint venture with anybody else when you can joint venture with a builder?
Exactly.
It makes more sense. Like the biggest headache, like you said, is you need to get that property over the line on time and in a good condition and without any headaches. And you get a lot of headaches from builders and the trades, and it's not because of the builder or trade, it's just because people think different, clash heads, all the rest of it. So I definitely, this is why I tell everybody, I'll joint venture with you, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
If the deal works, so the numbers work, I'll always do a deal with you if we can trust each other, and both of us have trust in each other anyway. Yeah, definitely.
And one of the things that you've mentioned there, and it kind of echoes what you're doing just now, is the willingness to support and help. And you would love to help many more people, but as you say, there's only so much time you've got, and as much you do more JVs. And we've been talking, and you've been asking some things about, Paul, I'd love to do this, and I'm quite excited about it. What do you think about it? And I'm like, it's a fucking great idea, So tell us a little bit more about what you're doing to support and help other people as well.
So this business that I'm starting up, it's the Property Refurb Academy. The reason I came up with this is because I'm trying to help as many people in the group and the community as possible, and I can't help everybody. So I was thinking to myself, I could maybe help everybody in a classroom and teach them as much of my knowledge as possible. The hardest thing is the refurb for a lot of guys. Getting the property, yes, it's difficult. There's strategies there to get the property. Once they've got the property, they're then like, where do I go for here? How easy is it? Some people procrastinate just because of the refurb. They're losing a lot of deals just because they can't price it right. And that's the biggest problem I think a lot of guys are facing. And because of this, I'm now teaching people how to price up refurbs, and we've also developed a calculator for them. So they've got this calculator that they can use, and it'll put all their information in it, everything they want in the property, and I'll give them a number at the end. No procrastinating. They can just go on with the deal, and that's the end of it. They know roughly how much this property is going to cost. There's also a space for contingency. And also, at the end of that calculator, they'll get 2 PDFs, one for their investor and one for them. The investor sees what they need to see, and they've got theirs with all the details on it. So it really, really works. And because we've got clients already, we're looking for feedback off the clients, like, what could we do to make this better for you? Have we missed anything? And the feedback we're getting is great, and the people that are coming on it, I'm really surprised, because some of them have got a lot more experience than me in property, but it just shows you how much a lot of them are struggling with the refurb side of it. But the academy itself isn't just around property investors. It's also going to be to help people get back into work. people, veterans, so MOD, we've approached them. They're interested in paying for the course for veterans. We've approached Business Gateway, we've approached the Job Centre as well to get people back into jobs, retrain. It's definitely got growth, and we're looking forward to working with more people and building something that's going to help people in the future and move on with their lives, really, just get into new jobs.
And so I guess the idea around that there as well in the conversation we had is that, you know, you're able to help a lot of people retrain or get themselves trained up to be, you know, be able to fit a kitchen as an example and other parts within the property, and giving them that kind of actual hands-on, you know, approach to it, but not just being able to build and fit out a kitchen, but understand how to price things up, how to deal with the materials, how to deal with suppliers. I guess that's the whole collective. Definitely.
So we actually approached a supplier, MKM. They've come on board and they came in and they talked to our clients. I think a lot of people are feared of merchants because they're dead. I don't know how to explain it. They're intimidating, I think, to some people, especially people that are not involved in property or the building game. So we've brought them in. They come in. They've introduced themselves. Look, this is our girl that deals with kitchens. This is our guy that deals with the bathrooms, and we deal with everything around the building of it. We can start from ground up. We can supply you everything. They've made it a package for us for a landlord pack for bathrooms. They've made up a package for kitchens for us. So we're the only ones that are available to get these packages. We've had them make up these packages for us and our clients. So it's definitely a lot of collaboration, which is good. But it's great. I think we're helping people around the numbers and around. We've really been shying into merchants and talking to them, haggling prices. Because if you can't get your refurb in on time and at the right price, the deal won't work. It's as simple as that. And I think a lot of people do spend too much money on the refurbs, especially because they go in ill-prepared. Oh, I've bought a property, I know exactly what I'm doing, but then they've got the refurb to face, and it's difficult, especially if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's why I think education is so important. It's one of the things that, you know, you've got to know how to deal with builders. 100%. You've got to know how to make sure you can price up refurbs. You've got to know your numbers and make sure that you can turn projects around in the right time frame. You know, it's so important.
100%. People say you make money when you buy a property. Of course you do, definitely. But if you don't get that property in on time, if you don't spend the budget, or if you go for that budget, that's you. The deal's gone. And I've made mistakes. Listen, I'm a builder, and I've made mistakes by getting too relaxed and letting things run on, thinking it's fine. There's plenty of money in it, but then you quickly realise you can't do that. You need to treat it like a business. It needs to be systemised. It needs to be done correctly, and it's just grew arms and legs from there. Like from my experience, just teaching people it, and like I said, the people that are coming on the course, I'm really surprised. Because some of these people get more experience than I do. Yeah. But it just shows you how much they lack the knowledge around refurbs.
Yeah. So I guess that for you over the last few years, just to recap as well, getting involved in bigger projects, doing loads of assisted sales. Every time I talk to you, you're doing new assisted sales, joint venturing and collaborating with so many people within the group as well. You know, you're helping people again in terms of your own education stuff as well. So you've got so much on the go. What is the vision going forward for Gary? What's the bigger plan? And more importantly, how can people reach out and connect with you?
So the bigger plan is the academy, if I'm being honest. Property is always going to be my thing. I'm going to be involved in property. The academy is about property, but it's also about now helping people around the refurb side of it. So around property investors, definitely. Also around people that need to or learn new skills, like people coming out of the army, things like that, definitely. Going forward, it's just going to be about growth, helping. We're going to start doing a lot more stuff with charity around the Refurb Academy as well. So we've got a lot of stuff happening at the end of the year with that. But pushing forward the Academy, definitely. I'm just looking for more ideas and more people to collaborate with the Academy, definitely.
Good stuff. And how can people reach out and connect with you?
So most of my social media, that's the best place to reach out. We also we now have a facility in Righead. That's just outside the Coatbridge. So probably best place to teach me is probably my Facebook page, or Instagram.
Great stuff. So I can link off to the show notes, so they've got links to your social handles as well. Yeah. But Gary, it's been an absolute pleasure having a conversation and chat with you as well, because again, you're involved in so much doing lots of things, you know, in different locations, different areas, and you know, you're using your skill set and knowledge to make sure you have successful deals, and you know, helping other people as well. So it's amazing, and I'm sure many people watching this will be inspired by your own journey and how you can help people as well. You know, so it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
Well, Paul, thanks very much. I do appreciate everything.
Good stuff. And as always, you know, if you guys, you know, feel free to drop in the comments. You get any questions at all, and of course, I'll jump in there and respond to those. I'm sure Gary will keep an eye on those as well to pop in as well. So, on that note, hope you guys are inspired and listening to Gary's story, just to see what's the potential there and what could be for you too as well. So, hope you've enjoyed the podcast. All the best, and bye for now.